one IPv6 page. Okay, page in which the IPv6 content is there. Yeah, please open it. Hello. So today we'll discuss about IPv6. What is IPv6 and what is IPv6 first of all, and why do we need this protocol actually? IP stands for Internet Protocol, and currently we are using IPv4. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the future IP that is called IPv6 or IP next generation. So this is this IPNG means IP next generation. So in this topic, we'll discuss about the no the format of packet, how the packet of IPv6 look like. So in this part, we'll discuss about the first. We'll discuss about the entire page of the IP. How does it look like, and yeah, what are the two main parts of IPv packet? So here the IP packet, which can vary from the entire IP size can vary from 40 byte to 65,535 bytes. So entire packet, including header and payload field. There are two fields of this IP packet. First one is called header, and second is payload. Header is something something like when we want to send an envelope to somebody, so we create we write the name of the person to whom we want to send this envelope, and also that some other fields are also there, like who is the where we want to send, and who is the sender, and the other fields like the postal charges, and all these field part are there. So all that part are covered by our header field, and this payload means the actual content, the actual message that we want to send to the sender, and this header means the information about the content as well as the information about the sender, information about the receiver, and the all the other information about the payload or the data segment. So hello, 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 hello. Am I audible to all? Hello,
Yes, sir.
hello. Am I? So so the header of the IPv6 is of 40 bytes. It starts from the size of header is entire header is 40 bytes, and the representation of this 40 byte header is in 32 bits. Each row of this header is of 32 bits, is represented in 32 bits. So out of this entire header is of 40 bytes, and we have expanded this header into this figure, in which the different fields of the header are displayed. So 40 bytes is the size of this header. We are representing it in 32 bits. Each row is of 32 bit, and these are the different fields of this header format. So out of 40 bytes, we have 16 plus 16. That means 32 bytes for source and destination address field, 4-bit for the version. The version means the IP, no, version of IP. Like, we have two versions of IP. First is IPv4 and IPv6. So in 4 bits, we represent the size of the version of the IP field. Then we have the different fields, like, so all the fields here are having some meaning, and we add these all these field in our IP header to to ensure that the data will arrive to the destination without any error, without any problem. So that is why we add these this header with our data with our payload field. Actually, the target of the sender is to send this data when this payload only. But the payload cannot alone move in the network. That is why we add some header field with our and this payload field. And the first field of this header is version. This 4-bit field version defines the version of the IP segment. Right now we have only two versions of IP. First is the IPv4 and second is IPv6. The IP4 means the current version that we are using on the internet is called the IP4 field of the IPv4 version of the internet protocol, in which the size of the IP addresses. IP address means it is just like an identity of a device in the network. Like if we are connected at this time, so each device is having a IP address. So I mean, which IP version we are following to get connected to each other. So I mean, at present the word is following this IP version 4, in which the size of IP address is 32 bits. So I mean, this 4-bit field defines the version of IP packet, and for IPv6, this version field will have a value as 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. I'm sorry, 0, 1, 1, 0. So I mean, 6 is the value of this version field, and this is represented in 4 bits. Traffic class. So I mean, we will discuss each and every field one by one. So first one is version that we have already discussed. Then we have traffic class. So this traffic class field defines the priority of the packet in the byte stream. I mean, let us say this is our one packet of some size, where the size of this packet can vary from 40 bytes to 65,535 bytes. So let's say we have 1000 packets in the system, and out of these 1000 packets, the sequence and number of this packet, I mean the priority of this packet, is defined under this field traffic class in 8 bits. So this is the field value of corresponding to this. Let's say, I mean, if we want to immediately use this packet at the destination end, so in that case, we need to define this thing in our 8-bit traffic class field. So traffic class means to set the priority. I mean, we have the description of all these fields here. You can see here this 8-bit field defines the priority. I mean, the priority of the segment and the entire byte stream. Then we have next field as flow label. This flow label field is 20-bit field, which is still is under development. I mean, we do not have the complete IPv6 with us, and some of its field are still under development. And this flow label field of 20-bit is still under development. And the purpose of this flow label field is to allow source and destination to establish a pseudo connection. I mean, a logical connection between the source and destination, and this flow label field is still under development. Then we have 16-bit field called payload length. I mean, when we say the size of this IPv segment will vary from 40 bytes to 65,535 bytes. That means if the payload field is 0, if the payload field class, please understand this thing. If the size of payload field is 0, then the entire the size of this entire packet will be 40 bytes only. Okay, and if let's say if the payload field is of say 2 bytes, in that case the size of entire packet will be 42 bytes. So I mean, it can vary from 40 bytes to 0 to 65,535 bytes. So out of, I mean, what is the exact size of our payload field? It is defined under this payload length field. Then we have next header. Let's say, I mean, as we have discussed that we are talking about a byte stream. I mean, in which the number of packets are moving in a stream. So in our next header field, we represent the header of next header. I mean the starting of the next header. What is the value of our next header field? We represent this value in our next header field of 8 bits. Then we have hop limit. I mean, when we have discussed that, you know, flooding algorithm, in that case, we have discussed that we should, fix the lifeline of a packet in a network. So this hop limit means this packet will move, this packet will jump 8 times from one node to other node. So I mean, let's say if the hop limit is 1000, that means in 8 bits we have the value as 1000, which means that this packet will move uh, up to 1000 jumps. I mean, from among the 1000 nodes. So because the value, the largest size is 8 bits, so the packet cannot have more than 128 hops. Now next is say the source address and destination address field. So we define the source address as well as the destination address in these fields, and the size of these fields are 16 bits. Say 16 bytes. 16 byte means the size of IP address in case of IPv6 version of the IP segments. So this is all about your IPv6 class. We have discussed about the IPv6 system, and I want all of you to understand IPv4 by your own, and take the reference of this thing, and I hope that you can understand this thing very easily, and it is also very easy. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me about IPv6. Otherwise, I'll move further to our next topic, that is IP addresses. And the PDF that I have showed, that I have shared with you, it contains all the theory about IPv6. I mean, what are the different fields? What is the purpose of different fields of IPv6, and advantages of IPv6, and all the I mean all the details are given in that PDF. So I do not want to read. Just tell me.
So we have already have IPv4. Then why there was a need of IPv6?
Actually, the size of IPv4 address is 32 bits. That means 2 to the power 32 devices can be there in the network. But because of the growing size of network, these 32 bits are not sufficient for for catering the growing size of internet. So that is why we need a larger IP address, in which the size of IP address should be larger. That is why we have this 16 byte IP address, and the 16 byte means 128 bits. That means now we are moving from 2 to the power 32 devices to 2 to the power 128 devices. So now the size of IP is larger, and it can cater more number of devices, and the size can vary from 0 to 2 to the power 128 devices. Okay. So I mean, you can see here, this is the I mean these are the advantages of IPv6 system. Why do we need this IPv6? So first one is, just a minute, I'll share the
Another question.
IPv6 with you. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, sir. You told us about hops. I mean, when they, So why we just need those hops? That will increase our.
If we are, I mean, hop means setting the lifetime of the packet. If we are not setting this lifetime of the packet, I mean, so let's say if the packet is diverted from its actual route, so it will remain alive for the infinite duration in the network, and all such packets will create a huge burden over the network. So I mean, ultimately we must have a time limit for each of the packet. Like we human being, we have a lifetime. Otherwise, this earth will full of the people like you and me. So that is why we have hop limit over the packets. Okay, so these are the advantages of IPv6 over IPv4: large address space, detailed and better header format. Okay, provision for extension. I mean, we may have extension to the fields like flow label, support for resource allocation. We can fix or reserve the resources, provide security. It has a high value of security. New options are added through the IPv6 protocol, and also it provides the auto configuration and mobility. Fragmentation is not required in this IPv6. So I mean, IPv6 is not yet launched; it is under development. But and the current version of IPv4 that we are using nowadays is IPv4 only. But this is the future IP. Okay, so to cater the increasing demand of the internet, we need a protocol like IPv6. Okay. So now with this, I am moving to the next topic. Is there any doubt about this IPv6 class? Because you will have to understand IPv4 by your own to this, and the question in the AKTU will come like explain the differences between IPv4 and IPv6. This is one of the most favorite question in the AKTU examination. Define the differences between the IPv4 and IPv6. So you will have to understand IPv4 by your own, which is very simpler as compared to IPv6 header, and you have to do it by your own. Okay, class, any doubt about this? Any doubt about this IPv system? Class, any doubt about this? So now I'm moving on to the next topic of this lecture. It is called just a minute. The next topic is IP addresses. IP address means, I mean, what is IP address? First of all, we should understand this thing. Why I mean, why we need an IP address in case of internet system. So IP address means just like the identity of a device in the network, just like your roll number. Okay, so just like your roll number is your identity in the AKTU. So I mean, all these roll numbers are having some meaning. Just like your roll number, let's say if the roll number is 17164100054. So all these numbers are having some meaning. Starting two numbers means 17 means the year of admission. Okay, and 164 means the college code. Then 10 is your branch code, and 054 is the sequence number of the student in the class. So similarly, we have IP addresses, and these IP addresses are again of some meaning. We do not define the IP addresses randomly, and IP addresses also have some meaning. IP address is defined as the identity of a system, of a device in the network. It is mainly composed of two parts: network ID and host ID. Like normally, let's say if we are leave IP address for a while, just just understand the case when we are discussing about the normal addresses, like the address of a person in a locality. Let's say we are talking about the address of a person, say if it is 154 B block Panki, let's say. Okay, 154 B block Panki. So B block Panki is the address of locality, and 154 is the address of the house. Okay, so there are two parts of the address. One is the address of locality, and second is the address of the home. Similarly, we have divided this IP address into two parts. This 32-bit long IP address of IPv4, because I told you currently we are using the IP of version 4, that is IPv4, and in that the size of your IP address is 32-bit. So this 32-bit long IP address is divided into two parts: net ID and host ID. Net ID means the address of the locality, and host ID means address of the device. So I mean, this entire IP address of 32-bit, it is represented in the with the help of dotted decimal notation. Dotted decimal means, I mean, A dot B dot C dot D. So there are 4 octets separated by 3 dots: A dot B dot C dot D. So I mean, all these A, B, C, D, and D are having 4 different values, and the value of A, B, C, and D it can vary from 0 to 255. 255. Why it is 255? Because I mean we are representing octets through uh, through this A, B, C, and D, and octet means 2 to the power 8. So 8-bit means 256 combinations. So I mean all these IP address, all these octets will have 256 different values. It will start from 0 to 255. So the first IP address in the network would be your um, 0.0.0.0, and it will last on 255.255.255.255. So I mean this is the entire range of IP addresses that we have in our IPv4 version of the network. So class, now I mean how many addresses, how many different devices can be there in the network? So with the help of 32-bit long IP address, we may have, I mean, these many devices in the network: 4294967296 devices in the network. So I mean these many devices, and it comes from 2 to the power 32. So these many devices we may have in our network. Now how do we represent this IP address in our IPv4 system? So for this, as I told you, the value of each octet varies from 0 to 255. So the first IP address would be 0.0.0.0, and it lasts on 255.255.255.255. So there are this is the entire range of IP addresses. Like you have heard about the IP address sometimes, you know, the lab technicians in the lab, they ask you to enter the IP address as 192.168.1. When say let's say 5. So I mean this is the IP address which is allocated to your that server that you are accessing through your client machine. Okay. So similarly, the IP addresses are defined in case of our IPv4. So we'll do some examples on this. So the first one is change the following IP address from binary to dotted decimal notation. So you can see here, I mean, this is one octet, 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. Then this is the second octet, 0 0 0 1 0 1 1. This is second octet. This one is the third one, 4 zeros, 1 0 1 1. This is the fourth octet, and we have then lastly we have the last octet as 1 1 0 1 1 1 1. So this is a 32-bit long IP address, and we have to convert this IP address of decimal notation into the octet. So you can see this thing that I mean we have individually changed the octet into the decimal value, and it will be like 192.11.11.239. So this is the IP address corresponding to this one, the first example, and this one is the second example. We can easily understand this thing like the previous one. Can you tell me what is the address of the value of your second address? This is the 11000001 5 times 0, sorry, 6 times 5 times 0 1 1. Then we have 000 11 0 1 1, and we have finally 8 times ones. So can you tell me what is the significance of this IP address? Any one of you?
It's in binary.
Any one of you? Sorry?
It's in binary, sir.
Yeah, it's in binary. So you have to convert into the decimal notation. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. So take the individual octets and convert into the individual octet value. So this is how the IP addresses are converted from binary to decimal notation. So we have some more examples on this. You can see here, like find the errors in any of these IP addresses. So we have first address as 111.56.045.72. So 045 is not allowed. Okay, any octet cannot start from 0. So I mean this is not allowed. So because right now we are representing our numbers in the decimal form, decimal numbers. So in decimal, with the 0 and decimal value is not allowed. So this is an invalid IP address. In the second one, we cannot have more than four octets. So that is why this is again a wrong value. Here we are combining two different formats. This is the first value is in binary, and the other three are in decimal. This is again not allowed. So these are the mistakes in our IP addresses given. Again, we have some IP addresses in which you are supposed to convert these binary values. Come to the classful addressing. Classful addressing means the different classes of IP addresses. How the the entire range of IPs is that, which is starting from 0.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255 is divided into different classes. I mean, the IP addresses are not allotted randomly to the users. We have classes, and according to the class, we allocate the IP addresses to the users. So this circle is, this pie chart is representing the complete range of IP addresses, 2 to the power 32 complete addresses. And this is the how we are dividing this IP address is can be understand through this pie chart. The first the entire range of IP addresses are divided into 5 different classes. 5 different classes means class A, class B, class C, class D, and class C. So there are 5 different classes of IP addresses. In case of now how the the value of host and net ID varies in case of our different classes. So in case of class A, we have 1 byte, because we have 4 byte of the IP address in case of IPv4. So in case of class A, 1 byte is reserved for net ID, and 3 bytes are representing your host ID. So that means starting from the the first bit of the IP address, here we can see the format of IPv4 class A address is 0. The first bit of the address should be 0, always 0. It is a fixed format, and remaining 0 to 127. Starting from 0. The range is like 0.0.0.0, because this is the first one, up to 127.255.255.255. This is the entire range of IP addresses in class A. 0.0.0.0 up to 127 means 127.255.255.255. This is the entire range of IP addresses, in which the proportion of net ID and host ID is net IDs of one octet, and 3 octets are reserved for the net ID. Okay, so now we'll move on to the second category of the IP addresses, that is called class B address, in which starts from immediately after the class A address. That means after 127. That means here we are ending in a class A. You can see here 127.255.255.255, and now immediately after this we have the next category as 128.0.0.0.0. Okay, so this is the first IP address in our class B, and it moves up to your 191.255.255.255.255. The last IP address corresponding to your class B will be this 191 dot all 3 octets as 255. Okay, in this case the format of IP address is 10. The starting 2 bits will be 10, and the remaining will be the division of net ID and host ID, including these two bits is 2 octets for net ID and 2 octets for host ID. Class, I repeat this thing, in case of class A, including this 0, first octet is for host ID, and remaining three are for net for host ID. In class B, including these 2 bits, 2 octets are for net ID and 2 octets are for host ID. Now we will move on to our class C addresses. So it starts from 192.0.0.0.0 and it moves up to 223.255.255.255.255. So I mean, this is the range of IP addresses, and the format of a class C address is the first three bits. The first three bits will be 110, and including these first three bits, we have first three octets. Here you can see this thing, the division of net ID and host ID. So in case of class C, 3 octets are net ID and 1 octet is for host ID. So this is the range of IP addresses in class C: 192.0.0.0 and 223.255.255.255 is the class C addresses. Now immediately after this we have class D, that is which starts from 224.0.0.0 and it ends on 239.255.255.255. I'll tell you the reason later on, but just understand this is the range of the IP addresses here. And the format of IP address in class D is 1110. The starting first three bit will be 1 and then we have a 0. And in case of class D, the entire range of the IP address. In case of class A, we have 1 octet for host ID for net ID. In case of class B, we have 2 octets for net ID. In case of class C, we have 3 octets for net ID. In case of class D, the entire range of 32 bits is reserved for the multicast users. I repeat, in case of class D, the entire range of IP addresses is reserved for the multicast user. I told you about the multicast network. What is the multicast network, or what is multicast routing? Multicast routing means, I mean, when we are sending a pack information in a certain group of users. Let's say if we have 50 students in the class, and if I am sharing my some information in say, let's say in 15 students, then that case this kind of communication is called multicast communication, and this class D is reserved for the multicast user only. The format is 1110, and all the other, I mean, the 28 bits are reserved for the multicast users. And finally, we come to our last class of the IP addresses, that is class E. In this class, we have the format of IP addresses as the range of IP addresses. IP address will start immediately after this. That means 240.0.0.0, and it ends on the last one, that is 255.255.255.255. And the format of the digits are like 1111, 4 ones, and remaining 32, I mean remaining 22 are reserved. I mean, this field is not yet used. This class E is not in use. We have reserved this thing and for the future development, for the future users. So I mean, this class E is not yet used. You will never find an IP address as 240.155.272. I mean, this is not in use actually. So I mean, this class E addresses are reserved for the future uses. It is not used. So I have told you about the division of the octets also. In case of class A, first octet is reserved for the net ID, 3 octets for the host ID. In class B, we have 2 octets for the net ID, 2 octets for the host ID. In case of class C, we have 3 octets for the net ID and 1 octet over the host ID. In case of class D, the entire range is reserved for the multi-cast user, and class C is for the future users. Now here, based on this division, we can see that we have most of the users. I mean, because in this case, the size of your host are largest. I mean, we have 3 octets for the user for the net host ID. That means 3 octet means 2 to the power 8. 2 to the power 8 into 3, that means 2 to the power 24 users can exist in this category. But I mean, in any organization, we cannot, I mean, it is very awkward that we may have 2 to the power 24 users in any organization. So most of the IP addresses under this class are not in use. I mean, it goes to wastage. Let's say if we are allocating any IP address of class A to any organization, so most of the IP address will remain unused. So the entire range of this pie chart is divided into 5 categories. The class A addresses are 50%. Then we have 25% for class B addresses, depending upon the number of hosts in this class. Then we have class C. It is approximately 12.5%. Then we have 6.75% for the entire range of IP addresses for class G and class E. So this is the division of our IP addresses in case of IPv4. Now there are some questions. Find the class of each of the following IP address. So I mean by checking the first two bits or by finding the value of first octet, we can easily find out the value of our this IP address. So here you can see this thing. The first one, I mean this zero, I mean this 00. If the first digit is 0, that means the IP address belongs to your class A address. You can see in the format. And in the second one, if it is 110, it belongs to class C address. So now class, we have the IP address in class C as 192.0.0.0 to 223.55.55.55. And what is the IP address of PSIT server? Normally, I mean, whenever we ask you people to access some server of PSIT, the IP address is 192 or 168.1.168.1.2. That means the IP address of PSIT lies in the category of class C. Class C is for the class C addresses are basically allocated to the commercial users. So I mean PSIT network is a commercial user, and that is why we have the IP address of PSIT is under this category. So now this is a flowchart of understanding the value of our I mean like similar to this question, how we can find out the value of our IP address. Either you can mug up the formats, or you can understand this flowchart. So if we are passing the values in this flowchart, and if we found the first value is 0, that means the IP address belongs to class 0. If the first bit is 1, and then we check the second bit. If the second bit is 0, that means 10, that means that the address belongs to class B. If it is not, that means if it is 1, that means we are moving into the class C address, that is 11. And if the third bit is 0, that means we have class C. And if it is 1 and 1, then we are moving to our class D or class E. Then if it is 1 1 1 and 0, that means we have the address as belongs to your class D. And if it is 1 1 1 and 1, then we have the address belongs to your class E address. Class, I hope this was clear to you. Any doubt corresponding to this part of IP? Class, is there any doubt about this thing?
No, sir. No doubt.
No, sir.
Okay. So now we have some examples corresponding to this topic. I mean, because at this time it is not possible for me to write and solve the examples. So I'll discuss the solved examples with you. So find out the IP address and divide the net ID and host ID. So I mean, by checking the first octet, we can easily understand the class of this IP address. So because this is 227, and 227 lies in our category D. Okay, class D. In case of class D, the entire range is the entire range is 1 only. That is your multicast users. In second question, we have 193. That means 193 is your class C. That means the 3 octet. These first 3 octets are your net ID, and the 22 belongs to your host ID. In this question, this is the first octet. That is your the first decimal value is 14. 14 means it lies between 0 to 127. That means 14 belongs to your class A. That means the this first octet is your net ID, and remaining 3 octets are your host ID part. And similarly, the last one is 252. 252 lies in the range of 239 to 255. So this belongs to your class C, and the entire range is reserved for the future uses. So I mean, this is how we can divide the IP addresses. Now we have next one more question here for the address 24.46.8.96. Identify the network and net ID. So in this case, I mean, first of all, we need to identify the class of this IP address. So because first octet is 24 and it lies in the range of 0 to 127. That means it is class A. And how we can divide this thing into net ID and host ID? First octet belongs to your net ID. That means the 24 belongs to your net ID part, and the remaining 3 octets are for the host ID part. And if they ask for the net ID, that means 24, keep the 24 as it is, and remaining all 3 octets will become 00. Plus here you can say this thing. So 24.0.0.0 is your net ID corresponding to this IP address. Okay. Now second one is 132.7.21.84. So this range is from class B. So class B, why it is class B? Because 132 lies in the range of 128 to 191. So that means it is class B. In case of class B, we have 2 octets for host ID and 2 octets for net ID. So I mean, the first 2 octets will be your net ID part, and remaining host ID will be 00. So to identify the net ID, what do? We make the host ID part as 00, and the net ID octets will keep as it is. And with the help of this, we can identify the value of our net ID part, net address actually, network address. Okay, so I mean, how many total addresses are there in the network? So if for we may have n number of addresses where the number of the where the value of n ranges from 0 to 2 to the power 32 minus n, where n belongs to your net ID part. Okay, so this is the, I mean, the total number of addresses means the total number of hosts in the network. Total number of hosts means, I mean, if we are eliminating the net ID bits from the IP address, we will get the host ID address and host ID bits, and 2 to the power host ID bits means these many hosts can exist in a network. So n equal to 2 to the power host, and here host is defined as 32 minus n, where n is the number of your net ID part. This is the entire division of the network addresses. Class, this is all about today's discussion. In our next class, we'll talk about the unit 4, that is your transport layer. So I mean, if you have any doubt about the today's class, you can tell me. Otherwise, I'll stop the discussion today, and we'll resume in the next class. And after this, we'll start unit 4 only. Class, if you have any doubt, you can tell me. I'll discuss and repeat the topics. If you have any doubt, tell me.
Sir, class वाला sir एक बार repeat कर दीजिए.
Classes, okay. Just a minute. Okay, I'll do it. Class means, I mean, why do we have this categorization of classes? It is like very much similar to why do we have the hierarchical network? Because all the layers of the network have a specific uses. So similarly here also, like class C belongs to your commercial users, class D belongs to your multicast users, class E belongs to your, I mean, it is not yet used. So I mean, this is to have a proper systematic uses of the IP addresses. We have divided the IP addresses into classes. So how the ranges are divided. So keeping the first octet for our net ID, I mean, the entire 32-bit IP address is divided into 2 parts: net ID and host ID. You can see this thing from here. The entire 32-bit long IP address is divided into 2 parts: net ID and host ID. Okay, and I mean, based on this division, we have classified the IP addresses into 5 classes. So net ID is 1 octet, that means class A. Net ID is of 2 octets, that means the 2 octets. I mean, in case of class A, net ID is of 1 octet, 3 octets are for your host ID. In case of class B, we have 2 octets for class. We have 2 octets for net ID, 2 octets for host ID. In case of class C, we have 3 octets for net ID, 1 octet for host ID. That means when we are moving from A to C, our number of hosts are decreasing. You can see this thing, our number of hosts are decreasing, because it is very unrealistic that we may have 2 to the power 24 users in an organization. Let's say if we are giving this IP address to an organization in case of class A, and that means that organization may have 2 to the power 24 users at a time, and it is very unrealistic approach of defining the IP addresses. So that is why from class A to class C, we have reduced the number of IP addresses and we have increased the number of network IDs. So we can, what is the approach of having a better network? Let's say if we have an entire network of PSIT, so either we may have an entire network of 6,000 users of PSIT, or what we can do, we can divide the network depending upon the let's say if we have 5 colleges in PSIT under the PSIT banner. So one network belongs to your PSIT, one network belongs to PSIT COE, one network belongs to your College of Management, one network is for College of Law, and one network is for, let's say, CHE. So we should have an approach in which we can divide the network into smaller network, so that we can the management of that network can be easily handled. Okay, rather than having large number of hosts in a single network. So what we should do, we should have large number of network and the smaller number of users per network, so that we can manage the users easily. Let's just understand, if we have 2 to the power 24 users in a network, it will be very it is like it seems like unfeasible for managing such a large network. So this is the approach of dividing the range of IP in our in this range. So this is the class A, B, and C. Then class D is your this is for multi-cast users. The format is 1110, and class E is for the future users. It is not yet used actually, and the format of this IP address is 1111, and the remaining 28 bits are free. We may have any combination of 0 and 1 to have any address in class E addresses. I hope this is this gives you satisfactory answer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now we'll start unit 4. Before that, I'll share the unit 4 notes and PDF with you people, so that you may have a better understanding of the topic. Okay, so we'll meet next time. I guess tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I have my class with you. We'll discuss all these topics tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, before that, I'll share the PDF with you. Okay, class? Any doubt?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.